Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walzak. And in the upper left corner, we got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Cutro.
Gentlemen, how are we feeling today? How are we feeling?
I'm a phenomenal, lowercase h. I'm in a great mood. I'm fired up. I'm EA Sports. I'm in the game. In the upper right corner, we got Scholastic Shally, Uncle Shally, Mr. William Shallcross.
Feeling about as good as can be, boys. I feel like a champion today. I don't know why.
I have no idea. What happened? Anything happened recently that would make you feel like a champion?
No, nothing big. Yeah, nothing big. Minor sport.
I mean, you're right. It was nothing big. Maybe like the seventh most, accomplished thing in sports. I mean, winning March Madness is behind everything, right? The NBA Finals winner's better. NFL Super Bowl winner's better. The Masters winner's better. NCAA football's better. I mean, MLB World Series winners better. I mean, it's just a little light accomplishment. Let's not pat our backs.
Winners better.
I think you can get some pushback on that.
I'm just fucking around. I'm fucking around. Control. We got a little hot wire action. Let's get rolling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be hardwood focused here. So we are going to start over. And we're going to start at the college ranks here. We're going to start on the women's side. You know, a champion was crowned, and that champion's name is UCLA. UCLA was able to beat South Carolina rather convincingly for their first ever, national title in their school history. Final score ultimately ended up being 79-51. And if you watch that game, it really was never close. Lauren Betts ultimately was your, most outstanding player there for the Final Four. But, gentlemen, not sure if you guys had a chance to catch the game or, just watch UCLA on this pretty dominant run here throughout the March Madness tournament. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts and reactions to, UCLA bringing home the first ever natty in their program's history.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, so I won't give you like a full in-depth breakdown. I watched the end of South Carolina UConn, and that was enough entertainment I needed for the weekend. But, no, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I had a lot of things going on Sunday, and yeah, shout out to UCLA. I didn't think that anybody would beat UConn, and then damn sure the team that beat UConn would definitely win the national championship after beating UConn. None of that happened. So interesting to say the least. Shout out to UCLA. Shout out to Lauren Betts. But not even the biggest women's college basketball conversation piece this weekend.
For sure. We'll get into that here. We'll get in. That's the second part of the hot wire topic here. But wanted to cover the champions first here before we got into the meat and potatoes from the tournament.
I didn't get to see the whole game. I saw bits and pieces of it. I, much like Gene, thought this was good. And, I figured UConn would have been in this spot, and we were just going to be talking about that tonight. I feel like going into even the Elite Eight, I feel like nobody was really talking about UCLA winning everything. And lo and behold, here we are. So, the parts I did watch, I did get to watch, like Gene said. I don't know if South Carolina was kind of on a letdown from that whole UConn, extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. But UCLA just was beating them on, in every aspect of the game. They were out hustling them, outplaying them, way better offensively. And they were really limiting South Carolina to what they could do offensively. One shot and out. Really slowed down a lot of their fast break stuff and made them play a half-court game. And that's from what I saw. I saw probably almost 2 quarters of it. But like Gene, I tip my hat to UCLA. Like I said, I feel like a lot of people weren't on that train coming into the tournament. Our first tournament, first championship in their program's history kind of surprised me. I figured they would have won one somewhere, back in the day or something. But great for them. It's something to always share, and huge win for the program, and move on from there.
No, for sure. And I mean, I think, I didn't get a chance to see the full game either. I was down at the Cavs game, but got a chance to watch it, before the game started there and, got to see a lot of why UCLA was having success there. And honestly, it just looked like they were locked in from start to finish there. And it just felt like also that South Carolina had no answer in the paint for what UCLA was doing. So you got to tip your cap to them. I do think they had a phenomenal team there, and this was one of those years where UConn definitely felt like they were going to be unscathed all the way to the championship game. And we even had the conversation last week, like, not will UConn lose a game, will they ever have a game that's within double digits? So like I think that's a testament to how good that UConn team is, but you also kind of got to think about it like how you guys both mentioned there. South Carolina was able to pretty much the game was close with UConn, and in the fourth quarter, they absolutely dominated them to move on to the national championship game. And so for UCLA to go into the Natty and do what they did, you got to tip your hat to them. And I think it's pretty clear with everything kind of said there that UCLA was the best team in the country this year after like that kind of performance against the team that knocked off UConn. Now the Natty's pretty much all wrapped up here as far as this conversation goes. Let's go back to the game in the Final Four, that UConn South Carolina game. Again, like I mentioned, South Carolina was able to dominate the fourth quarter and upset UConn in that one. But the talks of that game are ultimately about Gino Auriemma and the massive blow up he had when Don Staley went to go shake his hand. And obviously, since then, the original post conference after, he said that he felt like he was snubbed from a earlier handshake in the game, and that he's been coaching for however long, and that's always the set standard there. And then a day following that, he came out ultimately recanted that and basically said, I'm sorry for making it about me, and that's not ultimately what happened. And I got great respect for Don Staley. But with all of that said, though, wanted to get your guys' thoughts and reactions to the Don Staley, Gino Auriemma, incident there after the game.
I mean, it's so easy. Gino's a baby. And look, I'll be the first one to admit, I am a sore loser. If anyone's ever played organized sports with me, they'll tell you, I do not like losing. I can't trash Gino too much because I found myself in that scenario. Now, when I look back at it, I realize how ugly it is and how stupid it is. And listen, if I was getting paid the type of money Gino was, and I won the type of championships Gino won, then maybe I would react a little bit differently. But I'll say that, and I'm not making excuses for South Carolina. I'm not. But to have all the conversation and talk after they beat UConn the next day, the day of, being all about Gino not getting his hand shaked at the beginning of the game, and him and Dawn, and getting Dawn asked about it at the press conference. I think that sucks. And I would hate to go and beat one of the most elite college basketball teams I've ever watched. And the first thing that gets talked about was, well, Gino said the officials weren't this, and Dawn didn't shake their hand, and instead of talking about South Carolina winning the game. And I'm not saying that they walked into UCLA exhaling. I'm not saying that. Give UCLA all the credit they deserve. But it's kind of shitty to be able to knock off one of the best teams in college basketball I've ever seen, with AZ Fudd, Sarah Strong, and then the conversation just be about Dawn and Gino and not the girls that won the game. And Dawn doesn't deserve that shit either, because the video says Dawn shook his hand.
Yep.
He said he was waiting there for 3 minutes. No, he wasn't. He was waiting for 12 seconds. Somebody did a timer on TikTok. He was waiting for 12 seconds. Dawn was not there when Gino, and he still was smiling and happy. What changed the course of that was them losing. Then he made the mention of Sarah Strong's jersey getting ripped. And Sarah Strong got into the press conference and said, I ripped my own jersey because I was frustrated. So, Gino deserves all the trashing he's getting, because it's bullshit what he did. Call it like it is. But I can't fault him too much because I do that shit. Just telling the truth.
It's just chicken shit behavior from Gino. And I'll say this. I'm a big fan of Gino. I like Gino in regards to how he coaches his players, how he coaches them to have a certain level of respect. If you ever heard his clips about how he recruits and how important body language is and all of those things, I applaud all that. When you're a guy not used to losing, to throw a temper tantrum on the side of the court like that, it's a little disheartening. And I'll say, Gene kind of mentioned too, Dawn Staley's not just some other coach either. She's won national championships. She deserves the respect just like he does. She's not to be just glossed over and no, she's like, just somebody else that got lucky and won a game. Like, no, she's absolutely built a juggernaut at South Carolina, and she's beat them before. So she deserves all the respect in the world too. I could tell you this. I came into that at the end of it. Dawn Staley is not that type of person. And I could tell just by their body language and the way she reacted and the way she started yelling at him in the line that she definitely shook his hand. I didn't need to see the tape. Gino's just being a sore loser. And that's unfortunate. I think the worst part of it for me, if I'm being honest, is to Gene's point, in the heat of the moment, we've all been there. Like Gene said, he is. I have to. In the heat of the moment, you act ways you definitely 5 minutes later regret and wish you could take back. And again, just like Gene, I will raise my hand. I'm guilty of it. To be able to sit there the next day and think about it and then issue the bullshit apology was the worst part to me. All he kept saying was the staff. He never mentioned Dawn by name in the apology. And that is the part that pissed me off. Again, she deserves the recognition that she's getting and she's gotten. She's a past champion. She's a great coach. You need to absolutely call her out in that apology and say, I apologize to Dawn Staley for the way I acted and her entire staff and the players and wish this wasn't a distraction, so forth and so on. To not mention her name in the official apology was more chicken shit than what he did on the court, in my opinion.
Charlie, one thing that bothered Control, I'm going to go right to you first. The one thing that bothers me the most, this is not Gino's first time doing this shit. Pat Summitt hated Gino. Candace Parker makes mention of the fact that his character issues and their flaws. It's not the first time. It's not. I apologize, Control.
No, I mean, I was just going to say, I think the part that makes this even like wilder to me is that I think it would be one thing if, these two had this crazy rivalry back and forth. Like you talk about the relationship between Pat Summitt and Gino. Well, let's not forget, just last year, South Carolina and UConn met in the national championship game. And, Gino wins at UConn and they blow out South Carolina. And after the game, he's smiling, he's happy, he's trying to hug Dawn, and they just got blown out. And, that he's trying to act like they're best friends in the moment there. And, obviously, I'm sure, Dawn handled it with grace then because, that's just kind of who she is. But for you to have as much success as you do, and I understand, like, I'm a competitive person too. Like, I hate to lose as well. But at the same time, though, for all the success that you have, you can't win it every year. I get being mad that you lost ultimately, but let's not act like, UConn lost this 2-point game at the buzzer off of a bad call. They got absolutely dominated in the fourth quarter there. Had the game ended after 3 quarters, like I can understand Gino being frustrated and saying, all the things that he said there. Still wouldn't excuse it, but I can at least understand it because the game was as tight as it was. But in that fourth quarter, it was absolute domination from the South Carolina side. And it wasn't the refs that, made UConn lose. It wasn't, Dawn doing anything crazy or, unethical or anything like that. The fact of the matter is that AZ Fudd didn't play well in the fourth quarter. UConn was missing shots in the paint in the fourth quarter, and they didn't have an answer to stop South Carolina on the other end. So, I mean, I just think it's, one of you guys used the word unfortunate. I do think it's very unfortunate because, again, you don't want to take anything away from UCLA because they absolutely deserve all the flowers that they can get there. But in the back of your mind, you do kind of have to wonder, if any part, what part did this whole situation play in the psyche of that South Carolina team? Because that story did drag out over the course of the weekend there.
That's the way I felt. But I listen, Gino's a baby, bro. He's a baby. And look, I cannot say that I'm not a baby also. I want to be very clear. But I called my feet to the fire. And the next day, 100% Dawn Staley would have gotten an apology from me. 100% by name. Let's move on.
All right, from the college ranks over to the W, and we had a big time trade happen. Angel Reese traded from the Chicago Sky over to the Atlanta Dream for 2 first-round picks, a 2027 first and a 2028 first. Atlanta was a team that made the playoffs last year and had a really good season, and now they add, one of the best rebounders in the W and a, 2-time All-Star at this point. I guess thoughts on this trade here. Did it surprise you? And, ultimately, how good do you think this Atlanta team can potentially be, within the coming years here?
Let me tell you something right now. Chicago making this trade is one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen in the history of the WNBA. Let's just say you don't think Angel Reese is a great player and you think you're making a trade to make your team better. She's the second most marketable player in the WNBA after we just got the new WNBA CBA. It's the dumbest move ever. And by the way, for Atlanta, couldn't be a better move. You add an incredible rebounder in Angel Reese and listen, she's exactly where she needs to be. The 3rd or 4th best scorer on a team. She's not. You have a point guard that can get her the ball. You have the best player on the team is Ryan Howard, can score off her own. And then you have Angel, you have Griner. And a lot of people forget about this. They all think of Brianna Jones is on that team now. So that group in Atlanta is primed for competing for a WNBA championship. You have the outside shooting. You have the person that can create off the dribble, and their rebounding should be the best in the W. Atlanta made a great deal, and Chicago is a fool for making that trade.
I actually thought it was fake.
Right?
I saw it pop up on Twitter, and it was not somebody I followed. It didn't look like it was a real reputable thing, so I started scrolling, and I didn't see it for a while. And then I got down to ESPN and a couple other things. They had retweeted it. I was like, oh, shit. Definitely shocked. Yeah. Surprised. I think it's a great move for Atlanta. I don't know what Chicago's master plan is here. I don't know. I don't know if there were some grumblings behind the scenes with her. I don't know. I look at it this way. Your marketability doesn't win you basketball games, but to Gene's point, it's not like she's a bad player and she's just marketable. Like she's going to give you, she's going to give you a double-double almost every night. 2 first rounds, I guess, is good. What you turn them into, though, I mean, there's no guarantees when you had a young star already there. I don't think I make that deal. I don't know if Chicago has some other grand plan that we don't know about. And again, I don't know if there was some discord behind the scenes that we don't know about. But to just trade her out of nowhere, for what seems to be no reason, is definitely surprising to me and definitely shocking.
You want to hear a weird stat, Shally? And Cottrell, you're going to understand. And listen, with expansion, this should change. Do you know how many players that in the WNBA draft average are still playing in the league after 2 years?
I do not.
In the entire draft. What would you think?
What was the question?
Over the last 10 years, how many players that are drafted to the WNBA are still on WNBA rosters
2 years later?
Any
many-
WNBA roster.
It's probably
I'll say
15.
25%.
I have a total number of players. It's not like I don't know if I have the percentage. I think it's less than 25 though.
Yeah, I'd say like probably somewhere between like 15 and 20 players.
7.3 players average are on a team within 2 years after they're drafted. 7.3 is the
How many
average.
rounds does WNBA do 2 rounds like the NBA, or they do more?
They did too.
They do 2.
7.3. So
How
2
many
first-round draft picks from a team that's constant, that's going to compete for a WNBA championship. You're probably going to get 2 players that won't even be in the league.
How many WNBA teams are there?
I think there's what?
18 now.
18.
About to be 18.
So you're like 1 in 5. It's like 20%. Yeah, you're right. It's under 25%.
That's crazy. And they're going to be picking 15, 16, 17. Like, it's Atlanta's first rounders. It's not like it's Chicago's.
Yeah, and I think the other portion of it too is that it's not like Chicago has a rich history of making great trades, because if you actually, go back and actually look at it, like Chicago should be picking number 2 right now. And they did a pick swap with Minnesota so they can get Haley Van Lith last year. And now Minnesota's picking 2 overall in this draft. And granted, the draft isn't, phenomenal, but I guarantee you, if you could say, hey, we're going to add either, Olivia Miles or Lauren Betts or AZ Fudd to your team, you sign up for that, because you can figure out a way to, kind of build around that. So for them to ultimately get, 2 picks here, who, again, to your guys' point, are going to be really high, because Atlanta is now in a position, and especially now that free agency has opened up and obviously they have the new CBA, like you don't know who's going to want to go join Angel Reese and Alicia Gray and, Ryan Howard and, all those ladies in Atlanta to go, potentially compete for a championship. So I absolutely don't understand what the Sky are doing here. And they also made a trade. This, didn't get as much, headlines there, but they also made trades with the 2 new expansion teams there as well, so that they didn't have to put any players in the expansion pool. I thought that's strange for a team that's essentially rebuilding there. Like, you would think that you would want to go with the younger players and just kind of figure it out from there. So I have no idea what direction the Sky's front office is trying to go in, but this is definitely a move that didn't make any sense to me.
No. It's crazy, though, because, like, you look at this draft, and this draft is light, right? Next year's draft is going to be loaded in the W. This draft is super, super light. But when you look at things, Chicago will be the worst team in the WNBA at the end of this year. No doubt in my mind. No doubt.
Agreed.
And in Atlanta, they have everything that you need to start. Like, Katrov, if I was asking you to build a team, forget the WNBA. Just think any team. What's the first thing that you're looking for in a team?
I mean, personally, I'd want a good guard.
So a good guard. How's Alicia Gray?
I take it.
All right. What's the next thing you're looking for?
I want a good big.
How's Angel Reese? Top rebounding forward, and
I take it.
And then the third thing I'm looking for is a person that can create their own shot, a superstar. And they have that too with Ryan Howard. So call it like you it. That's a perfect setup. You got a 1 or 3 and a 4 or 5. You know what I mean?
Yep. And they got it to where, in Atlanta, and again, this isn't the Brittany Griner of 5-6 years ago, but you can play Angel alongside Brittany, and she doesn't have to be a true 5 at times. And you saw she had more success with that in Chicago, playing alongside Camila Cardoza. So, I mean, ultimately, I think that this is a good spot for her. Not to mention, you got Niles Hillman there as well, who's essentially sixth woman last year for the W. So, I mean, I like what Atlanta's doing.
Do you think this is them tanking to guarantee they get Juju?
No, because they're not even in control of their pick in 2027. They did another pick swap with someone else, so like they don't even have control of their own first round pick next year. So they can't be taking for Juju.
I'm floored. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled by it, but it is what it is. We'll see. And by the way, Juju Watkins doesn't have to come out. She basically sat out a whole year. She has a whole extra year of eligibility. So if she wants to go stay in Southern Cal and play 2 more years of college basketball, she can.
And get paid more to do so.
Correct. That's the whole point. So Juju doesn't even have to come out after this year.
Be very interesting. But all right, last story here. Not sure if you guys have anything else here, but I feel like it's an appropriate time to move on here. We'll go over college basketball, and you Bill, you talked about a move that surprised you with the Angel Reese kind of popping up there. This is one that caught me very off guard here. A notification came across that Mike Malone had accepted the job at North Carolina. It was one of those things where I had to keep checking the date of when things were published there, because this past week we were so close to April Fool's Day. So I was just making sure that it wasn't something that was posted on the first and just kind of started, flowing back up here. So I ultimately think that, this was a move that very much surprised me, and wanted to get your guys' thoughts about former Nuggets coach Mike Malone going back to the college ranks and becoming the head coach in North Carolina.
I don't know what it is about North Carolina that likes to hire pro coaches that are old. They did it with Bill Belichick. Now they're doing it with Michael Malone. Look, make something very clear. Michael Malone's not the guy that has to go out and recruit. You can't hire anyone better. You can't. It's impossible. North Carolina got themselves an incredible basketball coach. And a guy that's been known to want to develop players and doesn't want to deal with egos and egotistical people. He had issues with Carmelo Anthony. He wants to develop players. That is great for North Carolina. I think North Carolina, I don't trust his recruiting. I don't know what he's going to go out there and recruit. I don't trust that. Now, North Carolina has all the money in the world to go spending in college basketball players, so I don't think that should be a problem. But I don't see how you look at this as a bad move.
For me, it's a grand slam. I don't know if there was a better hire out there for them. He wasn't on anybody's list, and everybody who thought they knew who it was going to be. I never heard his name once, and then to Cottrell's point, all of a sudden, bang on Twitter, UNC hires Mike Malone. I think we all have a great affinity for him. We've all talked about how we all think he's a top 5 coach in the NBA. I think he's going to bring something to that program that they haven't had in a while. And again, to Gene's point, I guess you could question how the recruiting is going to go, but he's also has that brand behind him. It's not going to be that hard to pay kids and convince them to go to North Carolina. It's just not. Going there and being able to play for now a coach that is, an absolute excellent coach, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn how to prepare for the NBA as well, which I think is going to be a huge selling point for them. If I'm a UNC fan, I'm very excited. I would be very, very excited with this hire. I think it's going to put a lot of excitement back in the program. I think you're going to see them back on top sooner rather than later. I don't know. I didn't look into his contract or what his buyout is. I think the only thing you would have to worry about is him being there 2 years and a great NBA job opening. I could see him jumping back to the NBA real quick. It's the only thing that would worry me if I was a UNC fan.
His contract is, and I don't know what his buyout is, but his contract is 6 years, $50 million. So, second highest paid coach now in college basketball. And ultimately, I think that this is a move that you don't necessarily have to even really develop. I think North Carolina is going to be a school that's right back in the championship mix probably next season. I think there's no doubt in my mind that I think Carolina is going to be a top 25 school next year, and that I think once the portal opens up, guys should be clamoring to play for Mike Malone, because look at what he did at the next level, and not even just what his success was, necessarily at that level, but look at, his ability to know exactly, hey, this is what you can do in college to be successful in the NBA, or this is how you can carve out a role to, put yourself in an opportunity to have a chance to play in the NBA. And I think that mixed with the brand that you guys mentioned there. Plus the fact that North Carolina is just one of those schools that, the recruiting really handles itself there. I think, as long as he's able to get, a couple 5 stars, as freshmen and then go hit the portal, like there's no doubt in my mind that I think North Carolina will be title contenders here within the next 2 years. And I absolutely think they can make a crazy run next year without even seeing what their roster looks like at this point.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. Michael Malone was, in my opinion, top 5 coach in the NBA. And if you're top 5 coach in the NBA, I feel like you could be able to coach fundamentals college kids. And what's the one thing the Denver Nuggets always did? They always played the game right. They always knew the fundamentals. It's a home run.
So obviously North Carolina is a huge basketball school, and obviously I know for a fact they're not struggling for money here and things like that. But it is wild that they were able to go out, get Mike Malone, and then also bring in. I mean, the whole Belichick thing is wild in itself there, but like a school that doesn't have like that much money in like the bigger grand scheme of things. I know they're a big time basketball school, and this is a job that doesn't come open often. But like for North Carolina, essentially be pushing their chips all to the middle of the table in this era of NIL and all that, and very unconventional in the sense of going out and getting guys from the pro level. I mean, you got to tip your cap, and I think it's going to work out for them really well on the basketball side.
Tip your cap to their athletic director. You go out and get Bill Belichick and Michael Malone. You're doing something right.
For sure. I just wonder though, like, does he go to the boosters and say, "Hey, I'm going to talk to these guys. I need confirmation that we got a blank check on the table here."
I don't know. I think UNC. Like, let me ask you a question. Outside of Duke, can you name me a bigger job in college basketball in North Carolina?
Could argue Kansas.
Could argue it.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think it's inarguably Duke and then North Carolina.
Yep.
I think the Big Four, and I think there's separation. I think Kentucky's been a little bit down, but I think you're Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas. I think.
How would you rank them? Like stack rank them for me.
Are you talking about ranking like what's the best job, or what?
Best job, yes, best job. Like in college football, we can rank the best jobs, right? It's Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. Like those are the best jobs.
Honestly,
am I right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I wanted one of the, if I could have my pick of the litter of any of those 4 jobs, I would take North Carolina job. I think Duke is so intertwined with how great Krzyzewski was. I'm not saying it's a bad job. It's a great job. It's a blue blood. But so much of it is intertwined in the success that one guy had there. Like, you have to remember, like, Duke wasn't Duke before he got there. Now Duke is Duke. And that's all the credit in the world to Coach K. But
that might be my order. That might be my exact order. Might be my exact order.
Yeah. Kansas is a phenomenal job, and I don't think Kansas probably gets the due that it does. Their fan base is just as electric and loyal as and critical as any of those other 3. So, but if I had to pick one of the 4 of them, I think I would take UNC.
I don't know, bro. I get it. I just wouldn't want to coach in Lawrence, Kansas. I wouldn't want to coach there.
Your biggest show in
I'm
town.
Serious. Like, I get it, but if all things are equal, do you want to coach in North Carolina or Kansas?
I get it, man, but I mean, like, he has no problem getting kids there, so I mean, it can't be that bad.
It's probably not the most ideal spot in the world. It's like Cleveland, Ohio.
I mean, it's not like Raleigh, North Carolina is New York City, bro. Like, I mean, it's not. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it's more populated. Don't get me wrong, but again, I mean, it's not
Lawrence, Kansas, bro.
I don't think what you're thinking. I don't think there's like tumbleweeds like going down the road at Kansas either. They're like,
but they're not far. They're not far.
You take the wrong turn, you might see a couple.
It's fair. It's
on the ride there from the airport. All right, let's move. Shally, Shally. I picked against Michigan just because I didn't want them to win. I'll be very, very frank with you. After the Michigan Purdue game earlier in the season, where Michigan stomped them out, and Purdue was my national champ, I was like, listen, I rooted for Shally to win a national championship, even though Michigan is a rival of mine a few years ago in college football. I just kind of wanted him to be happy. I rooted for Cottrell to win a national championship because Ohio, even though Ohio State's a rival of mine, because I wanted him to be happy. I wasn't doing it again. I was playing hater, and I played hater as hard as I could play hater, and Michigan still won a national championship in college basketball. I didn't think I'd see the day that Michigan win a national championship in college basketball. Just didn't. I don't look at them as a big college basketball school. Never been. Fab Five, and then that's it. Yeah, they've been terrible.
I mean,
for
I still
30
think
years.
They were big time. When they make it, they're runner ups a lot. Like they just couldn't get over the proverbial hump.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's still a big time school. I mean, the football program there obviously overshadows everything. But I mean, it's still a really good job. Like if we're saying those top four, the top tier, I think after that you have Michigan State and probably a handful of others, and then I mean, Michigan's not that far down that list.
No, it's like 14 to 18 range. I don't think you're wrong. But you won a national championship. Let's give credit where credit's due. Those scumbags in Mason, whatever, won a national championship. So, Shally, take your stupid victory lap. Let's get over it.
It was funny. I was actually thinking about you. I was wondering that now that you've admitted to that, how much of it was just hatred, or how much you really didn't think Michigan was that good.
100% hatred. I mean, I picked against them every step of the way. Like every step of the way.
I would say it's. Listen, I think it's always tough, and both of you know this. When your team that you are emotionally invested in is that good, it's still always you always think like, am I just seeing things because I think they're better than they are because I love them, or are they really that good? And then we had, they had this run in the middle of the year where they were killing everybody. Then they slowed down a little bit, and then I got a little worried towards the Big Ten tournament, and they lost to Purdue. And I was like, all right, like, see how they're going to respond. And then they got in the tournament, and then just started playing great again. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Dusty May. I don't think that I didn't think they were going to be this good this quick. I thought there was a chance you saw a really good Michigan team next year. I did not think we were going 37-3 and winning the Natty this year. Great group of kids. I think the only thing I will say that I've noticed that was constant all year long is that all those kids cared about was winning. There was never any fights. There was never any, me stuff. It was, even after every game they won, they're all together. It was that I would say is a very tight knit group. And on top of that, they're just really good. I mean, you just the stats are. The Ken Palm thing came out yesterday morning. Since they've been keeping that stat statistically with everything that Ken Palm factors in, they're the third best team ever. They're the best team in the last, I think, 15 years, edging out that UConn team and the one Kentucky team. They're just tough, man. They're big, they're long, and they play just as hard defensively as they do, both ends of the court. And they're just a really, really tough out. I saw the other stat where the last four teams they played, Tennessee, Alabama, Arizona, UConn, it's the worst shooting percentage they had all year was when they played Michigan. Just a really tough matchup. Really, really good team. Probably won't see one like that again for a while. But you got, like I said, I think the best team won. I've been on them all year since the middle of the year. picked them all my brackets. I was that confident in them. Arizona game was the one that worried me. Obviously,
and you bring that up, Chow. You bring the Arizona game up. I don't know how much of that game was Michigan's defense. Arizona played fucking terrible basketball. I mean, they were missing bunnies. They were missing like wide open like layups. I don't know if they adjusted shots because of the length and they just like were worried about it coming into the lane. But they were so, how do I word this? It was just not what you've seen from them all year. And granted, Michigan played great defense, but when you watch that game, how many just bunnies, like wide open, like 2-footers, layups that just bounced off the rim, clunk, clunk.
Well, I mean, I think I don't disagree with you. And again, like without being able to see everything from every angle, like you said, like how much of it is, were they overcorrecting for something they thought might happen? How much of it just misses. But we compared their bigs all year long, and that's the one thing, we kept saying too. Arizona's were probably more athletic, but they were younger. Like how much of it was the moment, and people being nervous and being a little tight. And Michigan's guys just played freely. I think the more surprising part of that to me was, and I'd watched Arizona enough that I was surprised how easily we scored. That how efficient we were on the offensive end. Like I thought the Arizona Michigan game was going to look like the Michigan UConn game. That's what I thought. That's what we were going to get there. Because Arizona had locked down everybody all year long defensively as well. Like even their losses, they lost by 1 or 2 points and they were in the game. I never thought we were going to outscore them by 20 points. That would have been a dream. And anybody that said they saw that coming, they're full of shit. That game was super impressive to me. How they just ran their offense and ran through Arizona defensively because nobody did that all year.
I'll tell you something right now. If I'm Braden Berries, I'm giving another year in college basketball. He was fucking terrible in that basketball game. And I look, I don't like the Berry kid because I called for him to be the best player in the game, but he was awful in that basketball game. Kachar, your thoughts? I mean, because I don't want to bring up the UConn game. The UConn game looked like the most weird rigged basketball game I ever watched in my life. It was a very ugly, weird game. But the Arizona game,
first half, please.
The first half looked terrible versus UConn. I don't want to.
I mean, we didn't shoot well. I think we started 0 for 11 from 3.
Like 15 fouls 4 versus like 7 against. And
it's UConn all year. I'm just telling you, they were in the top 30 for committing fouls, and they were the bottom 10 for drawing them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the game flow the first half felt weird. Second half, I think they let them play a lot more. Like I do think it was a shift in the whistle from the first half to the second half. But as a whole, though, I think that Arizona game definitely surprised me. Especially, it didn't just surprise me because Michigan was as dominant as they were. It surprised me because of the way that Arizona looked throughout the process. Because I do think it's one thing if Arizona was committing a lot of turnovers because of the pressure, or Michigan was getting out in transition and things like that. But I thought Arizona was actually doing a pretty good job of getting to their spots. And, Gene, to your point, they were getting into the lane and they had plenty of opportunities to put points on the board, in the paint there. And they were just missing some easy shots there. And, you talked about Burris playing bad. I don't think Koa had his best game in that one either. And ultimately, Michigan was able to run away with it rather quickly. I think the one thing that I do give a ton of credit to that Michigan bunch for is that, we talk about the development of players and things like that. Like we just talked about that with Mike Malone and, that being his MO from when he was with the Nuggets. Well, for Michigan to come out and essentially have 5 transfer kids be in their starting lineup and, Dusty May is only in his second year there and they go off and win a national championship, I think that's quite impressive. And I do think that should give, like, if you're a North Carolina fan, I would look at the Michigan team and be like, hey, we just hired a great coach. Like, why couldn't this be us, this time next year? Because it's not just about getting the talented kids and getting all the 5-star kids in and things like that. It's also about getting the right kids, right? So People made a lot about, Yaxel and, his age and things like that. Like I see a lot of jokes about it, but the reality of the matter is he was absolutely incredible throughout the season there, and he was great up until the national championship game. Obviously, you could tell the injury kind of hampered him a bit in that one. And then Mara had also been in great form pretty much all season, and I think the true testament to that Michigan team is that neither of those guys necessarily played great, especially early, but they were still finding ways to, put points up on the board and pretty much have the game in control the entire way there, whether it be with Cadeau or with Johnson on the boards there as well. So I just think it's a pretty well-rounded team there, and you got to give Michigan credit because again, even when their stars didn't show up, they were able to hold it together enough as a unit to get the job done.
Agreed. Shout out to Michigan for getting it done. I think that they're the best basketball team this year in college basketball. They were, but I just felt like I was robbed of a good game because a couple of Arizona kids that were really good players just choked awfully. And I'll give Michigan credit for this. There was like second chance plays or like broken plays. And every time Michigan got that second chance, they buried the three. I mean, they didn't miss. When they got that like loose ball popped out to the wide open shooter, never missed. Just bang, bang, bang. They didn't feel the moment. And whatever coaching, you could very much tell they were not overwhelmed and the moment did not get to them at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with coaching.
And you say you're disappointed because of the Arizona game. It didn't live up to what it was supposed to. And I give UConn a ton of credit for what they them battling through the whole foul discrepancy there in the first half and still being able to keep that game close. And the fact that they were even able to they were down 9 with like a minute and a half left, and they were coming down the court with the chance to make it a one possession game after Michigan missed 2 free throws. So I give UConn a ton of credit there. I feel robbed because I would say arguably the best regular season college basketball game was Michigan versus Duke. And Duke literally just wet the bed there. And we would have had a potential to have that as a rematch for the national championship. We would have got to see,
would have pissed down their leg more than Arizona.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just saying, like, that was in Michigan, that would have been a game where Michigan was focused because they lost it. I'm sure they had been having it in the back of their mind, because they only lost 3 games all year. So a chance to essentially avenge one of those, like that would have been absolutely, phenomenal to see there. But again, give a ton of credit to Michigan. I also give credit to that UConn team there because in reality, I remember when we were talking about the preview of the March Madness tournament, and we talked about all the teams that we thought had the opportunity to win the national championship. And I think UConn may have gotten brought up, but none of us were saying like, hey, like UConn is a legitimate team that can win it this year. And at the end of the day, they were there and they had an opportunity to, make it close at the end there and just didn't get it done. And you got to tip your cap to Michigan for doing that.
If UConn would have won,
I think I tip your cap to Danny Hurley too. I mean, to the point we had that conversation around Connecticut, and I don't think anybody took them seriously because of how they finished the year. They came down the stretch; they were terrible, and they got in the tournament, and that was a completely different team. Completely different team.
Can you imagine being the UConn athletic director and having to deal with Gino Ariana and Dan Hurley as your 2 coaches for basketball? I mean, let's just call it like it is. They're both psychopaths in different ways.
For sure.
I mean, at least Dan Hurley is respectable though and classy.
I almost wonder, is Dan Hurley not a psychopath off the court? Like obviously on the court, he is a true psychopath. Like I don't even think he thinks before some of the stuff that he does while he's out there. But I wonder how bad he is off the court. Because like his interviews and stuff look fun.
I think that's a little psycho, his interviews. Like but whatever. They get the job done. They both get the job done.
You deal with it as long as you can. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you could argue that there's any other. I mean, if you're looking at both sides, women and men's, I mean, that's the best program in the country.
Yeah. All right, let's move. Let's give our Masters picks. Let's get a little Masters action. Let's give Masters a long segment.
before trivia.
I mean, it's 7:50, right? We still got 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, you said give it a. You
You
said
want
give
to
it a long
do trivia
segment.
now?
That's what I said.
Trivia early then. I'm down with doing trivia early.
I'm just saying. You said give it a long segment, and I didn't know. I just was keeping everybody.
Listen, Gene's a golfer now. Gene will talk about golf a little bit now. Gene likes rolling the ball around a little bit now.
All right, let's do trivia early then. This way we can kind of lean in the Masters a little bit.
All right. So I was also kind of wanting to get trivia done now too, because we are staying with the basketball side, and we're staying with March Madness.
My fucking brain hurts already.
And this question is actually inspired by Gene Walzak himself.
Sounds like collusion.
Since 2000, if you remember last week, that was the question. Since 2000, most points scored in one singular men's tournament. Well, I'm doing the exact same question, but in the women's tournament. Since 2000, most point scorers in one single women's run. And I will tell you guys that you make that face, you guys should get 6 or 7 of these without blinking an eye.
Okay. Well, you won last week, so you're more than welcome.
We're since 2000.
Yep. Single tournament though.
Single tournament. Yep.
Okay. That makes sense. Got
it. Including all tournaments, including this past year,
got it.
Everything.
All right, I'll go Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is at number 1, 191 points in 2023. No repeats either, by the way. No repeats.
Give me my girl Ace. She got to be on there.
Who?
Ace, bro. If you don't know who Ace is, don't talk to me about college basketball.
Who?
Ace. You heard me.
Not on the list.
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker is not on the list.
That's crazy to me.
That's why I was just.
I knew
who you were talking about.
You made it like you didn't.
I just wanted you to say it just to verify.
Oh, all right, good.
I'll go Breanna Stewart.
Breanna Stewart is at number 8, 147 points in 2016.
Wow, man. My whole printer just fell over. All right, well, Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi, number 2, 157 points in 2000.
What year was she?
2003.
God damn.
I'm pretty sure she was 1999 2003 at UConn.
Bill, it's back to you.
I mean, he's killing. He's up already.
I'll go with Ionescu.
Ionescu is not on the list.
I'm going to go with the greatest women's basketball player of all time. Like the Barry Sanders of women's basketball players. She had way too short of a run. Give me Maya Moore.
Maya Moore is at number 9 with 144 points in 2010.
You knew what I was talking about right away, right?
As soon as you said that, I put the letter next to the name.
Maya, baby. I cannot believe Candace Parker's not on this list. That is literally, like, to me, that's my GOAT. Ace is my GOAT.
Funny story. I had to just do a whole bunch of like double checking earlier when I found the question. Most points she ever had in the tournament was 123, and that was in 08. And the bottom person on this list, number 10, is at 141. So she's like right off the back end of the list here.
You got Chow, you're up.
Thinking, I feel like
bro, my label printer just fell over. Not kidding. When you guys heard that, I was just like, it's right next to like the computer.
I'll go with Diggins.
Skylar Diggins is not on the list.
Who are the people said so far?
You guys got Caitlin Clark, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, and Brianna Stewart.
Paige Buckets.
Paige Buckets is at number 4 with 153 points in 2025, and Gene takes the lead.
I feel like I'm missing a big name, and I just can't figure out who it is. Having one of those old people moments.
Like I said, you guys have, let's see here. You got 5 right now, and you both only missed once each. So
I know so many that are probably before 2000. That's the problem. I thought Tarasi was probably before 2000. I didn't realize it was that close.
I'm almost sure she was 99 to 2003.
Asia
Wilson is not on the list.
She
Man,
didn't even score that much. She was not that big of a scorer until she came to W. Trying to think. What numbers are we missing?
You guys are missing number 3, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 10.
Okay.
And then I'll start giving hints too after you go.
Yeah. Man, I really feel like that I've exhausted that UConn train as much as I could. BG.
Brittany Griner is not on the list.
that's a good one.
All right, hint
She's
time.
dominated Baylor.
She did.
I'm going to give you guys years first, and then see how that goes. Then I'll give you guys teams with the year.
That works.
So we should go to teams.
What'd you say?
I feel like we should just go to teams.
Well, teams would be probably a lot easier if they're big names.
I mean, all of them are names that there's maybe one person on this list that you guys might struggle getting, but so yeah, I mean, you guys want the team and the year? It's up to you.
I mean,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Gene, you in?
You know me, bro.
All right. So, first person here, you got a couple of these are just not even going to be fair. All right, let's knock both of these out then, because you guys will get both of them each, so that'll make it all right. So one of them is UConn 2025.
Oh, damn.
Season.
Okay.
Another one is UCLA 2026 season. Another one is Arizona in 2021. And another one is Notre Dame in 2019.
Did you say UConn last year?
Correct.
Okay.
Didn't he already say it?
No, it's somebody besides Paige, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question again.
Correct. And then the last one is, where does she go to school? Stanford in 2008.
That feels like it's going to be the hardest because I don't remember that.
That is going to for sure be the hardest one.
Did you say one was from Tennessee?
What'd you say, Gene?
Did you say one was from Tennessee?
No Tennessee. We got UConn 2025, UCLA 2026, Arizona 2021, Stanford 2008, Notre Dame 2019.
I mean, I have 3 of them, 100%.
You're gonna win then.
I have 3 of them, 100%.
I was going to
Bill, it
guess.
is on you though.
Said pass.
Yeah, I mean, who I was going to guess isn't going to be on the list.
2026 UCLA. It's got to be Lauren Betts. What are we talking about? Right?
Absolutely is Lauren Betts.
Best player in the country.
148 this past tournament.
And bro, you can flip a coin with the UConn girls. There's two of them. It's one or the other. Don't make me like I'm gonna laugh, but I really swear to God that I really don't know which UConn girl it is. I know it's one of the two, but
I think I know Notre Dame, but I just can't pronounce her name.
Well, if you know about the past here, we have some leniency with
I'm not gonna get close, bro. It's a whole bunch of letters that I don't want to try to put together.
Oh, bro, you know who it is though. It's easy. It's an easy name. It's a lot easier to say than you think it is.
Starts with an O.
Okay.
Gunawale.
Get the
what?
Just get to one of the UCLA girls. I mean, not UCLA, the UConn girls. They just played.
I didn't follow UConn this much this year.
Bro, she's going to be this. It's probably Paige Becker's girlfriend.
I know who that is. I just don't know her name. Oh, man. I don't know. It's like a Gunawale or some shit like that. I can't think. I don't know. That's my half-ass guess.
It's not Gunawale. Okay. I'll let you.
Go. If it's wrong, go. I want this over with.
Agumbawale is number 3, 155 points. 2019.
I don't have any more of this. So Gene's gonna win. I don't think you're
talking about a weekend. Gunawale, correct?
Correct.
All right. Do I want to do Sarah Strong? AZ Fudd.
AZ Fudd is number 10, 141 points. 2025.
I was flipping a coin. I didn't know if it was Sarah or but AZ Fudd's gonna be in this draft, so that's kind of how it helped me out.
I think that's it, right?
You guys got 2 more here.
What's it? 5-3, me?
It is 5-3.
It's 5-3. I don't have any more. Gene wins.
All right. Last
another one.
Cheryl Swoops. What?
1998.
Yeah, I know.
Swoops is 98.
Is one of them 99?
Who is? Let me try to get the other two. What were the last two?
All right. Last two. 2008 Stanford.
That's tough.
2021 Arizona. For that one, I'll give you an additional hint, and I think you'd be able to get it. She currently plays for the Indiana Fever.
Oh, are you talking about Leah? Oh no. Leah played for South Carolina. You're talking about Kelsey Mitchell.
Nope, not Kelsey.
Is it Sophie?
It's not Sophie. I mean, you're going to get there.
Aaliyah played for South Carolina.
It's not Aaliyah. You're going around all the Fever.
Natasha Howard?
Who stepped up when Caitlin went down? Besides Kelsey Mitchell. Besides Kelsey.
Kelsey, Aaliyah. Bro, I'm lost on that one.
Ari McDonald.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
You went
I wouldn't have got
the whole
round. And by the way, when he said NECA, I thought of Enrique. Or sorry, when he said Enrique, I thought of NECA. Is NECA on this list?
NECA is not on this list.
Okay.
But that's a good Stanford pull though. But she's not on this list.
I didn't even know she went to Stanford.
The last person is Candace Wiggins from Stanford.
I don't know who that is.
They were in the chat going crazy. Travis and John.
They got it?
They both said Candace Wiggins.
I had no idea who it was. Damn, look at them. All right. I'm kidding to give you. It's funny. All right, let's move. Time to get all right. Charlie, it's Masters time. I need you to lock in, bro.
Masters time.
Give me one good intro for anything this year.
I mean, listen, bro. This is it. This is the week. This is the one. It's Masters
I need
week.
to hear it. I'm ready.
It's the Masters week. It's the best week of golf all year. I don't care what you say or what you believe in. It's the most beautiful place on earth in regards to golf courses. It's a tradition unlike any other. Give Jim Nance his credit. Some people probably just got paid $5 for that. It's the best. Augusta National Golf Club. It is the most. It's the hardest course to get on. It's the hardest ticket to get. It is the most exclusive golf course, golf tournament that there is. It's hard to qualify for. It's the smallest field out of any of the majors. And it's just played on an absolute just almost fairy tale, fake looking piece of land in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. It's the best. Like I said, it's people center their lives around the next 4 days. It's the most watched golf tournament in the world every year. And it just has tradition, and it's always seems to be dramatic and always seems to be exciting and entertaining right when it needs to be. So I can't wait for this weekend.
I finally did a golf pool. I was trying to have Shelly help me with it, but dickhead didn't even reply.
That's not true. I asked you if you were getting in, and then you put your things, and I told you like your picks. I thought you were sending it to me because you wanted me to get in. If you would have said, help me with this, I would have helped you.
Yeah, I just wanted you to help me with it.
Well, don't be afraid to ask for
But
help.
I think my picks are solid. I think my picks were solid.
I do. I like your picks.
I do have one pick to win it, though. One pick to win it. It's 10-1. I got Rombo. I like John Rahm. I really do. I think he's going to win this one. I think that he can hit it long and straight. And I think with the Masters, you need a lot of controlled chaos. And I think Rahm can be that. I love the way he's playing. And I think that John Rahm is definitely going to be there when it's all said and done. I shied away from Bryson, even though Bryson's playing unbelievable right now.
We did.
I just think that he ends up trying to make shots that he probably shouldn't way too often. And the Masters is a course that you really can't do that on. And I learned that a couple years ago when I picked Bryson, and I watched him try to dig out of like some of those weeds on the right side. It's insane. I like John Rahm, and then for a backup play, I like Ludwig Aberg at plus 1,700. I think those are my two picks. For a long shot, I do have a long shot. I always like giving like that higher number. Justin Thomas at plus 7,000 feels like it's something that you can throw a couple of dollars on, and if he has a good weekend, he has all the talent and ability to be there. I will never pick Rory. I hate Rory. Just being very clear with you, I hate Rory.
Rory's banged up too, so
good. Hope he withdraws.
I think Rahm's a great pick. I mean, he's playing well and he's won there before. He knows his way around. Rahm is I think Rahm's a solid pick for me because Rahm is one of the guys that is just as comfortable drawing the ball as he is fading the ball, which is important there because you have to have both. With him, as it always is, comes down to his putting. If he's putting, he will probably be there Sunday. And like Gene said, he's played well over at Live. DeChambeau, I don't know. If this is the year where he doesn't try to do dumb stuff, he's playing out of his mind right now.
100%. Nobody's playing better in this tournament.
If he just takes what the course gives him, which is what you need to do at Augusta, he could easily win. I just don't know if he will. He has that little stubborn Phil Mickelson thing in him where he wants to win his way all the time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You mentioned one of my picks for the week. He's been quietly playing really well the last 2 months, couple top tens. I think this is a great spot for him to kind of break out and win his first major. I like Ludwig Berg as well. And then my second pick is a guy that I don't think I've ever picked before. It's weird because it's not that I don't like him, because I do. It's just I just never. I watch him play, and I just always feel like when he plays against the big guys, for some reason, and this isn't true. I just feel like he's he's not as good as them, and he absolutely is. But I'm gonna go with my gut this week. My second official pick is gonna be Xander Schauffele. Again, another guy. He's sneaky long off the tee. He plays well there, and again, he's a 2-time major winner. Had a slow start to the year, but he's played really well the last month or so. I like your Justin Thomas long shot pick. I just don't know if he's played enough golf from coming back yet to be there. But his short game is incredible, so it's definitely one of the things you need there. I really thought Brooks was going to have really big odds, and he's not, because I think there's just too many people paying attention to how well he's playing outside of putting. I thought he was going to have a big number next to him, and I might lay money on him, but I think he's only like plus 3,500 because
it's 45. I just checked.
Yeah, he might have moved. But tee to green, he's been incredible. He is just dog shit on the greens right now. But he loves fast greens, so we'll see. And again, that's a guy that experience-wise is not going to be flustered by the moment. Course is playing extremely fast and firm already. They're expecting no rain this week. So by Sunday, that place is going to be treacherous by Sunday.
Agreed. And so I'm gonna go through my long shots here first. First one being guy who I don't actually pick too often, but obviously you guys know the ties here. Corey Connors is a guy that has finished in the top 10 at the Masters tournament 4 times in the top 10 since 2020, and I think long shot to win, absolutely. He's at plus 8,000. I mean, why not just sprinkle a little bit on him? I think the more interesting part of it for me is, him finishing in the top 10 there. Another one who I'm looking at, again, just top 10 for sure here. My guy, Fairway Jesus, Tommy Fleetwood. You talk about guys that are playing well right now. Plus, the fact that he always plays well at the Masters there as well. Like, I think that's one name to kind of be in on right now. But the guy who I'm ultimately rolling with here to win it, I'm also rolling with Xander in this one. I picked Xander to win the Players. Well, actually, he was one of my picks to win the Players there. But as a whole, though, you talk about Bryson playing incredible right now. Xander's another one where it feels like every tournament so far this year, he's finishing in the top 5. He's playing absolutely incredible there. And again, he's another one that when it comes time for the Masters, he's always bringing his A game. He's finished as a runner-up before. He's constantly finishing in the top 5, top 10. So I think this is ultimately going to be his time to get over the hump there.
It's funny because my picks were for the 5. You pick 5 players for this pool. I picked Scheffler because you literally only have to get over 60, and it goes by the world golf rankings, which is hilarious because you have Bryson DeChambeau at 24 and Jon Rahm at 30. So that's beautiful I'm over 60 already. So I went with Scheffler, Rahm, DeChambeau, Xander, and Ludwig. I think we get a really good chance of winning with those 5.
I agree. I think Scotty really hasn't played in a month. I think that's the only thing that worries me about Scotty. Just had a kid. You know how I feel about the whole. I just feel like it's really hard to get dialed into something like this. He wasn't playing great before that, but he is Scotty Scheffler, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. Plays well there. And again, I already went over the other 4 guys. I wouldn't be shocked at all if any one of the 4 of them win.
Scotty doesn't know that Bryson and me.
I mean, Scotty's odds for these kinds of tournaments are, and granted, this isn't even like the craziest one. Like, I think he's at plus 550 to win it. And we've seen him as low as minus.
That's money. Insane to be a master for a master tournament to be plus 550.
Absolutely, but like for Scotty though, like I feel like in like what 2024 probably, or maybe 2025, like, one of those tournaments, it was like minus money for Scotty to win. Like, not necessarily the Masters, but like one of the majors was, minus money for Scotty to win because he was playing that great. So like 550 is like high for him.
I'm intrigued because I feel like this Masters to me is a little bit more wide open than normal. Like last year, we've had the narrative of Scotty versus Rory. Rory finally competed the Grand Slam last year. But we mentioned a bunch of other guys. Like Brooks is back now. Justin Thomas is back from injury. But you have, on the flip side of that, you have Rory who's not 100%. Scotty really hasn't played in a month. Colin Morikawa is hurt. I really just feel like it opens the door for it to be. I don't think not that it's going to be a no name because again, like it's hard to get into this tournament. So like it's very rarely not going to be a household name that wins it, but somebody kind of off, again like a Xander, Ludwig. I don't think Corey Connor's a bad pick. He's another guy. He hits the ball. He's like Fleetwood. Hits the ball in the fairway all the time. It's a matter if he can putt. I would love to see Fleetwood win the Masters. I would love it. I don't think it could happen to a better guy. You've Matt Fitzpatrick out there playing well. I like it because I feel like, we'll see how the first 2 days go, but I feel like it has a chance to be a great leaderboard come Saturday, Sunday, with a bunch of names that's going to keep everybody glued. But I feel like it's going to be like a big group where everybody's close. I feel like coming down the stretch Sunday has a chance to be, something kind of crazy this year.
I had to pick what I thought would be the winning score as a tiebreaker.
Okay.
What do you think the winning score will be? I went way higher than I normally would, like lower, essentially.
14 under.
See, I would say 12. I think with no rain in the forecast, I think
that's really why I'm as high as I am, because I do think that's going to factor into it. Like, I don't remember what the final was last year, but like they did have the crazy rain day, I think, on Friday last year, and they didn't shoot necessarily great there, but they were still pretty low come Sunday. So I'm thinking
I said 11 under wins it.
I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, it's a par 72, so you're looking at somebody that shoots 68 4 times, and that's doable. Like I said, I think when it rains there, it's a disadvantage on some holes, but other holes it becomes a huge advantage because
I think it's a huge advantage when it rains because the greens slow down.
Correct. Well, they become more receptive. So,
correct.
You can fire longer shots in the greens, and you don't have to worry about them rolling off the back end of the water or something.
Correct.
So, but it hurts you in the fairway. I
was gonna say, I feel like when you have the bad shots though in the rain, it's not going to be as easy to fight your way out of it.
In my opinion, you'd want it to rain. You'd want that grass to be watered like overnight.
Yes.
Like where it doesn't, not why they're playing. But if you get a wetter surface, it's going to help a lot of those guys, especially landing those long irons on the green. Like the short irons, they have the loft. But when you're trying to land a 5-iron on that green, and that green's playing like a pool table, like it's I'm serious.
It is. I know.
Whatever. It's rolling right off the green.
You want to go out and play Thursday, post a good score, and have it rain Friday night, and it come out Friday morning and be able to fire darts. That's what you want. And then have the course dry out by the time all the guys that teed off early Thursday come out. That's what you want. But not expecting rain, I'll be very interested to see, A, how the scoring is Thursday and Friday, and then B, Saturday and Sunday, how much the grounds crew lets the course go. Like how much water are they going to put on it at night? And how fast are they going to let it get? So obviously – the Masters is one of those tournaments. Obviously, the intrigue is, to Gene's point, if you hit the ball there, it'll go exactly where you want it to go, and it'll magically stop 2 feet from the hole every time. But if you miss it 6 inches to the left, it's going to go down a different slope, and you'll be hitting a 60-yard shot back by the time it's done rolling. So,
I mean this when I say it, and I wouldn't understand this 3 years ago. I think the guy that can hit their 9-iron, their 8-iron, their pitching wedge, the best wins the tournament. The driver yeah, it's important. I think the guy that can hit that loft club, that club that can land on that green, because the 4-iron and the 5-iron almost need to stay in the goddamn bag. Like,
well, again, there's only a few guys that I mean. Listen, I know you hate him, but you look at the shots that won Rory that tournament last year. That 6-iron on 15 that he drew around a tree, but he hit it a mile high in the air and it comes down.
It's
lands.
so tough to get that type of loft off.
Yeah, and again, so it's that stuff matters. The Augusta is one of those courses where driving the ball obviously matters, but it's not as penalizing as it is, say, in a U.S. Open or something like that. It's a little bit more wide open. If you do get in the pine straw, stuff like that, if you have a clear shot out, you can hit the ball. But the reason they make it that way is because you're going to get penalized up around the green. You miss something up there, it's daunting. So it makes it great, man. And again, it's the reason it's the one major that's held at the same course every single year. That place it's special. It just is. I still hope one day I get to go. And actually walk around and see it, with my own eyes. But it is, it's a special, special place, in all of sports. I mean, Augusta is up there with anything. So as far as venues, so like anything else, I will be glued to my seat Sunday. I have nothing going on. I can't wait. I hope it's good coming down the stretch like it has been the last couple of years. Last year was incredible. We got a playoff last year.
Gene, what time will you leave for your trip on Sunday?
So it sucks.
Oh no! You leave Sunday?
Yeah, I leave Sunday, and I was supposed to leave at like 8:30 in the morning, which means I would have watched the end of the Masters. Which means I would have watched the end of the Masters in Miami, which would have been no problem whatsoever. I scheduled my flight now to leave at 5:00 on Sunday.
Oh,
so I'll probably miss the 17th and 18th hole.
I say they won't be done.
But I'll have Wi-Fi on the plane. I always do. And I'll watch it on my phone as I'm taking off. But I leave at 5:00 Sunday, and I come back the following Monday. So I'm gone for 9 days, man. Great. Longest vacation I've taken in God knows how long.
Nice.
I know Sunday's
and
the
where
card
is this one going?
I'm flying to Miami. Hear me out. I'm flying to Miami. We're going to cruise Monday morning. Go to the Bahamas Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like the cruise basically is 2 days at sea, 2 stops in the Bahamas. Then Friday morning, we dock. I fly from Miami to Las Vegas and go into WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And then coming back Monday.
Nice.
So it's a trip that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a good trip.
Did you go to WrestleMania when it was in Philly?
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
I don't want to stand in 40-degree weather, bro. You don't know. Dude, I'm telling you. I'm the biggest Eagles fan you've ever met.
Both days.
You're the biggest what?
I'm the biggest Eagles fan you've ever met in your life. Ever. And I was given front row tickets to a playoff game, and I didn't go because it snowed, and I didn't want to go down there. Front row, row 1. Eagles, Rams. Nah, I'm good. I'll watch it on my TV. Comfort matters to me. It doesn't make me a bigger fan because I'm at the arena spending money to go.
I don't disagree that comfort matters, but I think there's also a difference between an NFL playoff game and WrestleMania. Like Philly may never get a WrestleMania again in your lifetime.
I'd rather watch in Vegas. I'm glad I'm watching in Vegas.
Bro,
Yeah,
we
tailgated
tailgated all day, dude. I had shorts and a hoodie on. It was perfect. It was 65 degrees all day. It couldn't have been any nicer. And the card was way better.
Well, you're going to Vegas, so you'll get to experience it and do all the fun stuff there, and
yeah, which is lining up to maybe be one of the worst ever.
I won't be. We got a couple extra minutes. I will not be on the show next week, which means we probably won't have a show because Shy won't show up or respond to his text messages.
I'll be only around stuff till like 7:30, just talking to everybody. It'll be fine.
But I do want to give my WrestleMania predictions now because I'm sure you guys will talk about it a bit on the show next week.
We
Hopefully,
definitely will. It's gonna be a top 5 worst WrestleMania ever. Keep going.
I completely disagree with you.
Oh, it's so trash. Keep going.
I don't agree.
Right.
I think Roman and CM Punk are worth the price of admission as far as the microphones leading up to it. But
The 2 main events are great. 2 main events are great. We'll agree there.
Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar is one of the best matches. I cannot. Obafemi is incredible. And if they do not put Oba over by having him beat Brock, that will be one of the biggest travesties. I will be booing. I might leave the show. I might leave.
See? I'm trying to tell you, you're not going to make the main event. That's my whole point.
And then, well, no, it's opening the show night. Great. And then I love Seth Rollins, Gunther. Terrible lead up, but these are 2 of the best overall athletes and wrestlers. And then you're going to get Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, which will be an incredible match. You're talking about the most athletic big guy I've ever seen in the WWE in Drew McIntyre versus the Samoan Werewolf and Jacob Fatu in a street fight. That thing is going to be excellent. Now, where the card lacks a little bit of luster is Sami Zayn in a U.S. title match. You better add, and they still have time, versus Trick Williams. You can add Carmelo Hayes to that match. You can add Ilya Dragunov to that match and make it a fatal 4-way and make it way more watchable. That's number 1. Number 2, if you know me, I'm one of the biggest Jade Cargill supporters of all time. She could not be in a WrestleMania yet if it's not a tag team fight or a pre-filler, because her versus Rhea Ripley cannot carry her. She's terrible on the microphone and she's stiff as a board as a wrestler. And Rhea Ripley can carry almost anybody. But after what I watched last year with Rhea, Io, and Bianca, this is not a follow-up. So
the women's division in a whole is a mess right now.
What?
The women's division as a whole for lead up and everything is a mess right now.
It's because of the injuries. And the problem with that is they should have been more prepared for these injuries. Seth Rollins was supposed to go against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker never got cleared. So they pivoted to Gunther last minute. Bianca Belair was supposed to fight Jade Cargill. She never got cleared. So they pivoted to Rhea Ripley last minute. There's a lot of things that they had to pivot to last minute. But I still think the matchups as a whole will be fun to watch. Like, you can't tell me Drew and Jacob aren't going to be worth the price of admission. That is an incredible match.
It's not necessarily what the quality of match is going to be, but you've already hit on it. Like Sammy versus like whoever for whatever. Like like half of these matches have like no meaning, like at all. Like, yeah, cool. Like Drew and Jacob, like, but like that only came about because they stripped Drew because Drew's leaving right after Mania to go film a movie. Jacob's going to win that match. Like, will it be fun to watch? Sure. But, like, you know the outcome. I guess the only one that's really kind of in doubt is the Brock Obi match. Like, I agree with you. I pray to God Brock puts him over. But you never know. Like, there's a lot of rumors that Brock, that they're saying Brock's coming back for, like, a steady run. So if that's the case, then who knows? Like, he might win and like, be on TV every week. I don't know if that's true or not. Seth Gunther will be great. Seth Gunther will be great, but to your point, it's such an injustice, though, that we didn't have any build with the way their characters would have interacted for the last 4 to 6 weeks, like we've gotten out of Roman and CM, which has been incredible. I think Orton and Cody is going to be the best match. I think the psychology of that match and how they decide to end it is going to matter. I love both main events. It's just like there's so much of it else though is just like, and you can't control injuries. I agree with you. Like if everybody was healthy, this card would look completely different, and I 100% agree. But it's still going to be what it's going to be. Like they've wasted Alexa and Charlotte. They could have did something with them, freed them up. Like it's
one tag team match for the titles with Lash Legend and Naomi. Like not
what are we doing? You get it.
That's a terrible match. Let's go get a bite to eat.
Yeah,
be right back.
My issue with some of these cards, my issue with some of these fights too, is that I feel like they could have kept some of the mystique there without like actually announcing them. Like Finn Balor, for example. Like the fact that Finn's back Like, I feel like that could have been a crazy, pop.
They
Like
ruined
him
that.
just kind of
That's
coming
one of
out.
my biggest gripes with this card.
Coming out of
They
nowhere.
ruined that by already saying he's going to come out as the demon.
A, he's going to be the demon, and then B, you have this whole push for him. You give him this huge push, and Dominic's still insanely over. You could have this great match, and then out of nowhere, you take the IC belt off Dominic. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I agree with that.
Like, if you're giving me Finn Dominic for the IC belt at Mania, I'm in on that.
Yes.
It already blew up the Judgment Day. So, like, that's your whole storyline. But, like, it's just a singles match. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's stupid. And I'm a little bit more invested because Finn's my guy. But, like, it's just so dumb. Like, that's why they're doing the demon thing, because that's going to be the only cool part of it.
Yeah, but if they would have did that for the IC title and had the Judgment Day stomp out Finn Balor like 2 or 3 times, and then don't tell anybody, and then Finn comes out as the demon, and everybody goes nuts. Like that was the storyline.
Listen to the man. Listen to the man. It's not that hard. Why can we figure that out? It's not that hard.
I agree. Also, can we please stop putting R-Truth and Damian Pierce as tag team champions? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Are you getting? You're getting my point, though. Like, all right, you know what? It's not going to be bottom 5. I'm exaggerating on there, but it's very top heavy. It's very, very, very top heavy. Where other WrestleManias, like every other match for the most part, you'd be like, all right, cool, like good build up. At least it means something. It'll be an entertaining match. I don't care who wins, but it'll be a good match. At least it'll mean something. Like
nobody's better on the mic than CM Punk, though, bro. That is insane. He's
but again, we're not talking about the main events. We're not talking about the main events. The main events are going to be great.
I know.
He's going to lose, though, but
he's going to what?
He's going to lose, but
yeah, Roman's going to win. All right, guys, let's get into the NBA. A little NBA talk. I see John Suggs let us in. Lakers on the downfall. Looks like a first-round exit. Yeah, I mean, obviously with Luka getting hurt.
I actually kind of feel bad for them. So.
I don't. I can't wait. I need LeBron to retire. I need it to be done. The amount of fucking league. Get out of here.
Why do you want to retire so bad?
Because he's 47 years old.
But he's still playing. What's the matter?
I just don't want to watch it anymore. Like let's let it be Luka's Lakers. Let's build the team around him.
Does anybody really kind of? I mean, I think it's LeBron's team, as in like leadership wise, but like I think everybody would agree they're building that team around Luka and not LeBron.
Bro, the Western Conference playoffs are going to be so good after the first round. Can't wait. I cannot wait. You're going to get a 7-game series.
You ignored what I said. Just kept on.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I told Coachella this. The Bob does sports thing with LeBron, like kind of mind fucked me a little bit.
By the way, if I'm the Lakers, I'm losing out to avoid playing the Thunder in the second round if I have to play in the second round. I don't want anything to do with the Thunder. The Thunder played them and absolutely mopped the floor with them. And with or without Luka, you can have everybody. You can turn injuries off. Doesn't matter. Thunder in 3.
I mean, do we think the Lakers are beating the Nuggets, Thunder, or San Antonio in the second round?
They have a lot better chance of beating the Nuggets as they're currently constructed. They have a lot better chance of beating the Spurs as they're currently constructed.
I feel like they're going to be heavy underdogs no matter who they play out of the 3 of them.
Bro, just get me to OKC San Antonio. Get me there.
I'm with you on that one.
Get me there.
If you're the Lakers, I think you do everything you can to win every game here moving forward. You try and get that 3 spot, and you're praying that you can face the Timberwolves in the first round, because it's looking like Anthony Edwards is going to be missing some time here as well. So a Lakers Minnesota series with no Luka and no Ant would be very ugly to watch. But if they can find a way to hold them off and make it to the second round, I mean, I think that's ultimately what you hope for if you're a Lakers fan there. But I'm with you. If they stay where they're at now, they go 4 seed or 5 seed. I mean, sure, could they? They're not beating anybody without Luka. But regardless of, even if they do win that first round matchup, they would get absolutely slaughtered by the Thunder there. So your hope is getting to to the 3 seed to just
Rockets
extend that playoff run.
The Rockets have quietly won 7 in a row. Your second round matchups in the Western Conference could be Thunder Rockets, Spurs Nuggets, leading up to Spurs Thunder, which is literally the greatest Final 2 matchup you can see in like the last 25 years. I will sign up for that. Give me 28 games of that. Like, I'm locked in.
For sure. I mean, I just think it's we keep talking Spurs Thunder, and I just don't know if that's going to be the foregone conclusion of what we get.
I hope so. I sure hope so. The Spurs, Thunder, and Nuggets all 9-1 in our last 10. I love it.
Heating up down the stretch, getting ready.
Meanwhile, the East is a.
Yeah, it's literally. Let's talk about the East.
The whole mood just goes down.
I mean, it does. And look, my question is this. And when you look at the East, Cade Cunningham just came back after missing 11 games. The Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and that team look like they can definitely win the East. You have the New York Knicks, and I don't think anybody else has a chance of winning the Eastern Conference outside Detroit, Boston, and New York. But Cottrell's going to sit here and make his argument and his claim for James Harden and the Cavs. I don't see it.
James Harden doesn't win the playoffs.
I mean, if you don't see it, you haven't been watching the Cavs play. 8-2 in their last 10 since James has been there. When him and Donovan play together, they've looked very well on the court there. And I think if you've also watched the regular season, especially with the Cavs at the 4 spot right now, like I think it'd be different if they were in the 3 spot and they had to face the Celtics or the Knicks there in the second round. But I think facing the Pistons is exactly what the Cavs would want in that second round there. I told you guys, a long time ago that I'm still not sold on this Pistons group as currently constructed here. I think they desperately need a consistent second scorer that can create their own shot to assist with Cade. I will give them a ton of credit. They've been winning basketball games since Cade has been injured. But I just think once playoff time comes here, it's going to be tough for them to beat anybody really in the second round there. Just based on like what I'm seeing from them.
See, you brought up the Cavs thing, and I knew you were, and I had it prepared. Just so you were clear, they're 9-2 in their last 11, which sounds impressive until you actually look at who they beat. The Grizzlies are cellar dwellers. The Pacers are cellar dwellers. The Warriors without Steph Curry are one of the worst teams in basketball. They lost to the Lakers. They beat the Jazz, who have the worst record in basketball. They beat the Heat. That's a good game. They lost to the Heat. They beat the Magic by 5 at home. The Pelicans who aren't in the playoffs. The Bulls who aren't in the playoffs. And the Bucks who aren't in the playoffs. So you can tell me all you want that they're 9-2 in their last 11. They've played the lowest schedule in the last 11 games out of anybody in basketball. They played out of their 9 wins, 7 of them are not versus playoff teams. And then the Heat and the Magic are your 2 wins.
I mean, you can say that, but you can also ignore the fact that in March they also beat the Detroit Pistons when Cade was playing and they were fully healthy there. So, I mean, like, again, you could, kind of nitpick the schedule and things like that. But at the end of the day, they've also beaten the Knicks. They beat the Knicks the last time they played them as well. So I just ultimately think here that, again, this Cavs team is playing well together and they are starting to figure it out. And you're also going to finally get back all these guys from injuries. So, I mean, I just think that this is the team that I ultimately want to see here. Like, you get Allen back, Mobley's back, James and Donovan have been playing, Strus is finally back. Like, this is what I want to see come playoff time.
Okay. Listen, I wouldn't fault you as a Cavs fan. I wouldn't. If I was a Cavs fan, I would be looking for reasons why they can win these games too. I just don't see it.
Truth be told, I think there's an outside shot that Detroit loses in the first round.
Well, it depends who they get. If they get Philadelphia, they could definitely lose in the first round.
I think they get Philadelphia. I think if they get Charlotte, I think the way Charlotte's playing, like Charlotte could get them.
Detroit's a nightmare matchup for Charlotte. They're the only team that's athletically enough that can control them around the perimeter where Charlotte needs to score the ball. Philadelphia is the worst matchup for Detroit because Joel Embiid can really help with Jalen Duren in the paint. And then when you look at with Cade Cunningham, the perfect matchup for him defensively is a healthy guy that's been resting all year, Paul George. And then they have no one. Listen, you say what you want. Paul George can play good defense. And versus Cade Cunningham, he'd be a very good matchup versus him. And Tyrese Maxey is a matchup nightmare. Asor Thompson cannot keep up with him. They've proven that time and time again. That would be a bad matchup for them. Philadelphia is not going to win more than one round if they win a round. But if they play Detroit in the first round and they're healthy, it's a real opportunity for Philadelphia to win that series and make some serious noise.
I wasn't laughing at your analysis. I was laughing at your Paul George has been resting all year thing.
Oh, okay.
I'd much rather see you guys face the Celtics in the first round.
And we get smashed.
Don't truck.
We get beat by the Celtics in the first round, 100%. Boston's had our number for 15 years.
I mean, I don't know.
Joel Embiid goes up to Boston. He's like, oh shit, I don't want to play them again. Just calling it like it is. It's a terrible.
I mean, you say that, and I fully understand why you're saying that. I'm just saying, like, as far as the rivalry in itself, there, like, I do.
It's not a rivalry when we never win. I'm just telling it like it is. It's not a rivalry if you never win. Let me ask you a question real quick. I don't mean to be an asshole when I say this. Would you consider the Yankees and Red Sox a good rivalry?
Yeah.
Why? Because Boston can win sometimes, right?
Yep.
You consider Duke, North Carolina a good rivalry. Yep. The Packers versus Bears for 25 years was not a good rivalry. I don't care what it was listed as because the Bears could never fucking win. Now Caleb Williams is there and it's a rivalry again. But the Sixers-Celtics is not a rivalry when Philadelphia can't fucking win. It's just not a rivalry.
I mean, now that Doc Rivers is no longer in the building, maybe they get over the hump against Boston. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't necessarily think so either, but I'd love to see it. Give me the opportunity to see it. I want the Sixers in the 7th seed, and I want the Hornets in the 8th seed.
I would much, and I don't want the Knicks either. So 6 seed. My ideal world is the Cavs get to 3, the Knicks fall to 4, Philadelphia gets to 6. That's an ideal world for me. I think that's a layup matchup. I'm just telling you what it is. I don't have any fear of the Cleveland Cavaliers. James Harden pisses down his leg in the playoffs, and there's nobody on that Cavs roster that can keep up with Tyrese Maxey.
Bro,
no,
the Sixers beat the Cavs at all this season.
That doesn't matter. The Sixers have not played with Maxey, Embiid, and George for more than 8 games this year. And if one of those was versus the Cavs, congratulations.
One of them was versus the Cavs, and Embiid had 33, Maxey had 22, Paul George had 14, and they lost.
I have zero concern with the Cavs. Zero.
They actually played twice. Cavs beat them by 26, and all 3 of them played.
I have zero concern with the Cavs. Zero. They'll piss down their leg. You have James Harden on your playoff roster, that team will piss down its leg.
All right.
Just telling you how it is.
There will be some extra spice in that if that's what we get though.
I'll pray for it. I'll get on my knees and pray for it. I would love a winnable matchup in round 1.
I mean, I think outside of honestly, I think the Sixers would be the most winnable matchup for the Cavs in round 1.
That is laughable at best. If the
Sixers, actually, I take it back. Second most winnable matchup because I would rather see the Raptors in the first round.
You see the Raptors versus anybody. The Raptors are an auto buy.
Yeah, so I'd rather see the Raptors there, but the Sixers would 100% be second.
I would love that. I would love nothing more because I'll make a bet with you and it'll be something stupid And but look, if the Sixers play the Cavs in the first round and the Sixers are fully healthy, I'm making a bet. So I'll drive you an Angelo's cheesesteak out to fucking Akron, Ohio.
Well, when Joel goes down midway through game 2, but then battles back and plays the rest of the series, but he looks terrible doing it, then we're going to be talking about, well, they weren't healthy.
Of course.
No, I'm not thinking championship. Not yet.
All right, real quick. I want to get this question out there. We talked a little about both sides. The MVP is all but wrapped up. You're welcome, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Do you disagree with that?
I mean, that's what's going to happen, but it's
not going to happen. I don't think that's the way it should go.
What would your pick?
I told you that I would pick Wemby.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Joker would actually be my pick, but Wemby would be my 2.
The other questions I'd like to know. The other questions I'd like to know would be your other futures bets, your others futures. And if you had to pick coach of the year in the NBA right now, who is your NBA coach of the year?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there's a lot of names that you really can't go wrong with. Like for me,
what?
One.
Who?
I'm curious to know who
I think this guy is a terrible coach. Does that give you a hint?
You're talking about the Spurs coach.
Nope. Yes. If the Boston Celtics were over under this year was 42.5 without Jason Tatum, and they're going to win the fucking East. That's insane.
Well,
my point being, I think they win the East. They'll finish second. Steve,
okay. You mean You mean like in the actual?
Yeah.
I got you.
They're going to win 60-some games without Jason Tatum for the majority of the season. I hate Joe Mazzulla, but I got to give him credit where credit's done.
So I've changed my take on Joe. I don't think he's a terrible. I think he started off as a terrible coach, but I think he has finally bought into who he is, and now he's unapologetically him. And I think the players are finally buying into that as well. Like the weird, like quirky things that he does, like, well, he'll have the players like draw up plays and stuff like, hey, like, go out there, just do whatever you want to do. Like, I think that's just kind of who he is. And so I do give him credit as a coach now, as opposed to before where I didn't think he was really doing much there. I actually do think he can coach.
Who's your coach of the year?
I think it's hard not to give it to Bickerstaff.
I was going to say Bickerstaff would be another one there too. Those Mazzulla and Bickerstaff were the two I was talking about, but I don't think it should be landslide.
No, but when you look at the situation, the Boston Celtics is a possibility could finish with a better record than the Detroit Pistons. And Jason Tatum didn't play 75% of the season.
Right.
It's not like they had some like bum ass roster without him though.
But they were a playing team at best that, before, like in your mind before the season started, they were playing at best. Like they were supposed to be looked at like, I mean, obviously they have a better roster than what the Pacers do, but like no one was thinking about the Celtics being a top 5 seed, let alone number 2 seed in the East.
Yeah, it's Joe Mazzulla, in my opinion. All right, next question would be your most improved player of the year. And do you want to hear something crazy? I wish I could make this up. One sports book has one guy at minus 1,500. Another sports guy is the same guy at plus 1,000.
What?
Yes, I'm not kidding with you. And I thought this was crazy, but who is your most improved player?
See, most improved for me is tough because like the guy who I kind of think about who like took a jump really took part of that jump last season as well. And Jalen Johnson, like I think he's incredible.
So it's number 4 on FanDuel and number 2 on Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Who'd
so
you
like
say?
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
That's my pick, actually. What is he? What is he odds wise?
Number 4 on FanDuel at plus 17,500, and number 2 on Hard Rock at plus 240.
The other one that
that far apart.
The other one that comes to mind for me is the other guy in the East that's going to potentially be All NBA this year. That was an All-Star, and that's Jalen Duren. Like those are the two that
FanDuel, number 5 on Hard Rock. I'm not kidding. Look it up. It's crazy. Here, let me show it to you.
Yeah, those for me at least. Those are the two that came to mind like instantly. And I don't know who the favorite is, but those are the two.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker
goes to Atlanta, and
this is insane to me. Look at the odds right here. Zoom that in, maybe.
Got a telescope, maybe.
Hang on.
Denny Avia would be a good one too, but again,
Denny Avia is my pick.
He kind of falls in that same. He started to break out a little bit last year, but now in Portland, he's really had the year. You said that's your pick, Gene?
Denny Avia, yeah. DPOI's Victor.
Without a doubt. As long as he
Rookie of the year. It's flipped again.
Should be Cooper. I mean, you go off and have 50 and then 45. Like, I get it. It was cons to lose, but Coop's been on an absolute tear in the season here, and it is about I mean, it's going to ultimately be about the lasting impact. And the way Cooper is ending the year, like I would give it to Cooper.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, I gave you guys a blind resume, and Cooper Flag had a better stats than Con. Con was on a better team. Charlotte's finally cooled off. Cooper's had a 50 and a 45. Cooper Flag's going to win the Rookie of the Year, and he should win it. Con's played great, but Con needs a point guard. Cooper does not. In my opinion.
Don't disagree with you.
Last question. Right now, as we head into the playoffs, last couple games of the regular season, give me your NBA Finals winner and matchup. We do this check-in about 4 or 5 times a year.
Staying OKC. I'm with Gene. I think OKC, San Antonio, if we do indeed get that, I think it's a war. I would tell you that'd probably be the most excited I'd be for an NBA series in quite some time, and I will watch as much of it as I can. I would sign up for that in a heartbeat. I still think OKC, just a little bit more experience, a little bit more depth. I think they come out of it, and I think Boston's going to come out of the East. So I'll go OKC over Boston in 6.
So I'm sticking with my preseason winner here, and that's the Denver Nuggets. But coming out of the East now, I do agree with Bill. I do think the Boston Celtics are going to be the ones that take care of business in the East.
I mean, you're not wrong, Mo. But they do. They do. I'm going with, man, guys, I really want to switch.
Oh.
I think, like as we currently said, I think it's Spurs Celtics. I think it's Spurs Celtics.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I would still love that. Like, I mean, I won't be mad about it. I'll still watch it.
Man, I love the Spurs depth. I really do. Castle, Harper, Fox, Wemby. Like, I just bent Champagny. Like, I love the Spurs depth. Love watching it. And I think that they're a matchup nightmare for the Thunder. So I think if we do get Spurs Thunder, Spurs win that matchup. I think the Thunder are rooting every bit that they can to get the Spurs out of that playoffs. Even though the Nuggets are a very, very good team, and Nuggets gave them everything they wanted last year with non-healthy roster. I just think that, yeah, you're right. I think that the Thunder got better though.
Yeah.
Everybody on that Thunder team got better, man. And then they go add a player that shouldn't have been on the fucking trading block. The 76ers should screw them.
This is true.
It's wild.
This is true.
Well, San Antonio and Denver are 2-3 as it sits right now, right?
Yes.
Such an advantage for Oklahoma City to not have to go through that. Like, that's going to be a war, too. I mean, not to have to go through that.
Well, maybe as it stands right now. I mean,
Well, yeah.
Lakers are there, Rockets are there. Like, that can definitely flip. I'm sure they're hoping that's how it stays. Because I think the Thunder would be chomping at the bit to get the Rockets or the Lakers in the second round as opposed to the Spurs or Nuggets.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I don't want to give this any more attention than it needs to. But they have a UFC numbered card, and I legitimately want to just give a quick winner and not waste any of my time giving UFC time for this dog shit card that they're making a numbered card. This is ridiculous that Yuri Prohaska versus Carlos Ulberg is the main event of a numbered card. Now, but if that's the main event, the numbered card, the co-main event better be good, and it's not.
It was supposed to be.
This is a dog shit numbered card.
Who's the co-main supposed to be?
Joshua Van.
Versus who?
Tatsuro Taira.
I mean,
This is such a
geez, the rest of this card's awful.
Like, it's a lot of recognizable names on here, but
for guys that are on the wrong side of it.
Like Cub Swanson and Nate Landwehr being on your main event is like wild at this. Like in 2026, like that's a wild combination to put together for the main event.
Dominic Reyes, Jesus Christ.
Bro, it's terrible. I'm just going to run through my winners. I looked at it earlier. I think Dominic Reyes beats Johnny Walker Blue, who's basically like a stepping stone for anybody in the division. I think Curtis Blades beats Josh Hockett. And then I get in the co-main event. Give me Azamat to beat Paulo Costa, who always seems to lose fights that matter. And then Yuri versus Ulberg. I think Ulberg wins the fight. I think Yuri's too reckless. And I think Ulberg will make him pay for being too reckless.
I think I'll go Yuri. I think Yuri lands one of those crazy strikes and takes home the W.
Gene, I think I'm opposite of you on every fight besides the Curtis Blades one. I'll take Johnny Walker. Take Blades. Paulo Costa moving up to light heavyweight kind of intrigues me. And then I'm taking Yuri. You guys know I'm not picking against Yuri ever. So I got Yuri in the.
I love that, Josh. Or Suggs. Guys, let's keep. You got to be kidding me. That didn't even deserve 5 minutes. It just didn't.
Now you got to be kidding me. Is the UFC putting that on as a pay-per-view?
All right, so this week for me, I'm going to the guy who I absolutely love to pile on, and the guy who I always talk about that hangs on to one championship like no other, and that is Mr. Glenn Doc Rivers. Reported this week that he had a meeting with the Milwaukee Bucks players after a loss where he was frustrated with their play, and he told the guys in the locker room, he said, "Hey, look at my resume and Google me. I took teams to the playoffs and championships that weren't supposed to be there. I thought this was one of them." Well, Doc, the reality of the situation is you underachieve with teams that absolutely should be championship contenders more often than not. You are the coach that has the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history. And the fact of the matter is that you had Giannis Antetokounmpo, you've had Joel Embiid, you've had Chris Paul, And we haven't seen you win a championship in almost 20 years. And the fact that you're just kind of riding on this high, and it's not even fully just about winning the championship, right? Like we don't even see you have sustained success at your location. That's like, okay, they made it to the second round and they bowed out. They got through the first round matchup, then they bowed out. So Doc, for you to just come out here and say, look at your resume and just act like you've been the greatest thing since sliced bread the last 20 years is absolutely asinine. With in the one championship that you do have, that's a time frame where I feel like, the super team kind of moniker. I know it started in Miami there, but you got a big three in Boston there. You were supposed to win the championship with that group of guys. You didn't have to do anything special to coach those guys up. So for me this week, Doc Rivers, Mr. Look at my resume. And, I think there's plenty of guys that have a better resume than what he does this week for me.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Shally. Really? I thought you were going to steal mine. That's fine. I'll go. A little bit of a little video, just quickly. If you didn't know, there was a pretty big fight in Major League Baseball. And the part that's the you got to be kidding me of the fight is right here. And I just got to show it to you.
A lo que yo dime, para esto.
And yeah, he said something. So that's what you had. You had a long stare that Ronaldo Lopez took exception to.
They square up, and Soler and Lopez are throwing haymakers. They're going after each other. Soler is finally tackled from behind as the Angels and Braves are all out onto the field.
Reynaldo Lopez and Jorge Soler got into a fight. Lopez threw a ball up and in, hit Soler kind of in the hand, bat area. The part that happens in baseball. It's part of the game. The part that you got to be kidding me is Reynaldo Lopez holding the baseball and punching with the base. Guys, I know that not everybody in Major League Baseball knows how to fight. I also know that you probably shouldn't close your fist or punch somebody if you throw a baseball for a living. But holding a baseball and punching somebody in the helmet with the baseball is probably one of the ugliest, worst moves I've ever seen. So, although it's a really weird fight, Reynaldo Lopez, man, I just don't fight. Don't throw up and in. I don't know. But throwing a punch with a baseball in your hand, looking like a chicken, waving, not the move. So, Reynaldo Lopez, this week's.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
That was awful.
Was. Definitely was.
Gentlemen, I will not be here next week, so I still would like you guys to tune into the show. I know I won't be here, but Shally and Cottrell, I promise you, they'll put on a mediocre show, and they'll go out and
try their
ratings will be up next week.
Bro, you're lying to yourself.
People will be chomping at the bit next Wednesday.
We getting Kyle Edwards on?
No, please. I need to get us canceled.
Kyle won't not get.
No, I'm just kidding.
Kyle's awesome.
I like Kyle.
But any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, I'm gonna try to be gluttonous here, I guess, but I think there's a chance I win another national championship this weekend. So we'll see what happens. Michigan Wolverines Frozen Four play tomorrow night. They win Thursday. They play a national championship game Saturday. Come up short the last 2 years. So I'm praying we pull this one out, and it'll be could be a really nice weekend for me.
Control, any final thoughts?
Ohio State hockey doesn't have to worry about that.
I mean, yeah. The women got a Frozen Four championship in the last couple of years, but yeah, no, I got none. I'm hoping that All the Michigan hockey players stubbed their toe. They can't skate on ice. They just stink this upcoming week and don't win another championship. I think one's enough for that god-awful university, especially in the course of a calendar year, let alone over 2 weeks. But yeah, I got nothing.
Well, I'll throw a happy birthday shout out to my guy CJ Brancato. Yesterday was his birthday. Might be today. I think it's yesterday.
Today.
Happy birthday, CJ. Love you, brother. Hope you had a great one. Appreciate how good of a friend you are and how much support you show. So wanted to give you a happy birthday shout out. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, man. I'm really looking forward to next week. Going on the longest vacation in a long time.
Travel safely. Don't fall off the boat.
Be back for a draft show, I think, right?
Anywhere about me. I'm a low center of gravity. I'm not falling off.
Watch out for those rip ties.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walls. That's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own College Control, Uncle Shally, Scholastic Shally, National Championship Shally. We are signing out.